Hello people, welcome to Food Glam Life. I hope you're doing very well today. My name is Sana, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a very quick daily, everyday office, school, college, just going out of the house. I mean, it's up to you how you want to wear this look, but this is what I'm going to be doing. I had a few requests for this in the comments to do like an everyday look that's quick. So what I'm going to do is something that I've been doing when I need to just get out of the house but look a little decent or whatever. And I guess some people had missed out, which is understandable, but I did my drugstore haul on my Insta stories. But obviously Insta stories is kind of one of those things, you know, you miss it, it's gone. And then I had mentioned that I would do my high-end haul on YouTube, which is what I did. But then people were like, why is everything so expensive? Do something affordable. So I'm basically combining both things. I'm doing a quick sort of get ready with me, and it's mostly all affordable stuff. Some of it is new, some of it is not, a lot of it is not. And the way I do this, and this is actually what I've been doing, is, I don't know if you know this, but on a daily basis, I don't wear foundation. I don't like wearing foundation. It's just one of those things that I feel like I need to do if I really want to put in the effort, or if it's like a more special event. But concealer is big. Concealer is something that I cannot go without. I wish I could. I wish I could be one of those people who didn't have these terrible under eye circles and just could be like, yeah, you know, woke up like that. But I'm not. Also, I have been, I don't know, I'm getting this rash and a few like bumps and breakouts. So I don't know if it's my skin purging because I've been using that retinol a lot, or if it's a reaction to something, or if it's just the weather, if it's like a heat rash. I don't know what it is. So maybe staying away from the foundation for right now is probably a good thing. So the way I would start, let's just get started, is I would first moisturize my lips while I'm doing everything else. And I'm gonna, like I said, mostly easily found affordable stuff. This is the Vaseline Lip Therapy in Cocoa Butter. This is so cute. Like, how can something be this cute? Like, obviously it's just reminiscent of those big tubs of Vaseline that we used to see on our mother's vanities as we grew up, and then they made it into a teeny tiny size. This is usually in my purse. I really like the cocoa butter one because it smells amazing. Cocoa butter is one of my favorite scents in any kind of body care. So this is really easily available. I think a lot of people know about this. So what I like to do is just have that on while I get started with everything else. So I'm just going to start with my concealer. Actually, this is just like an everyday out the door kind of look. And you know what I mean by out the door, it's really not, but it is. So I'm going to give you a few options and just sort of discuss what I like to use. If the sound is different, it's because I remembered to put the mic on. All right, before we get started, let's just get this hair out of the way. I'm first going to go in with my concealer, and what I like to actually do is, because I have these really dark, you know, divots and this sort of like multiple discoloration that comes out. So for that, I like to go in with the Focallure concealer, and this is in the number 4. And this I like because it kind of works like a corrector. If you see the shade, it's very brightening, and it's got like a bit of a touch of pink in it. As I do with all my correctors, I just kind of limit it to around where the most gray and purple comes out, and then you can use the tip of your finger, or you can use a beauty blender or sponge. I'm just gonna go in initially with my finger and then perfect it. You guys, these tiny sponges by Real Techniques, these are so great for your under eyes. So I do have the big, like the Real Techniques sponge, and you know I like it, but I honestly still prefer the beauty blender, or even the one I got from AliExpress, because this I've been using for a month. If you can see it, it already has tears, and in just a month it started doing that. Beauty blenders do not do that quickly. Neither does the AliExpress one, or you know, any other one that I've used. So while these are inexpensive and soft, whatever, I don't like that they're so disposable. So what I like about this, it's wet. Like, I can really, with a small one, go into this very hard to reach area, especially if you have smaller eyes like me. I also get a little grayness around my nose, so just disperse that like that. I don't know if you can see right here. Really stupid. I was waxing my upper lip. I don't know what's happened. My skin has become extremely sensitive, so when I get threaded, I just can't do my upper lip anymore. Like, even the softest hand, it hurts. It wasn't like this before. It's just become like this. I don't know what it is. You know, I just decide to get it waxed, but I decided to do it at home, and I was using those Veet strips. And wo ek jagah thi jahan there were these hairs, like 3 hairs that were just not coming out. And I went over it like way too, I think I went over it 3 or 4 times, and that's just not recommended, because I think I got like skin off. It was painful, like it had. So like, and it's fine now, and I'm using my vitamin C and, you know, all of that stuff to take away the pigmentation, but it's definitely there. So that's something I have to consider when I'm applying this, although even if it's there, I don't care that much. So then I like to go in with an oldie but a goldie. Everyone knows this, the Age Rewind by Maybelline, and I like to use the shade medium. I would not use medium to like brighten or highlight, because if you'll notice, I'm gonna just do it right here. It's literally the same shade as my skin, my face. So it kind of is like a foundation. It's so for those everyday kind of just light coverage sort of days, I will use this. And because I'm not using foundation, I use this a lot more liberally. I go over, you know, because my nose gets pink or whatever, and then like all this area over my laugh lines. So it's almost being used like a foundation, but not really. Because I like the way it feels. It just really blends into your skin and doesn't feel heavy or cakey or dry. My other option that I would go in is the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. I really, really like this. These two I always just get backups of is because I use them so much. And just if I wanted a little more brightness, I would put that right here in that area that would need it. I'm just going to go back and forth between this and this. Unlike other people who get like really oily T-zone and oiliness, my T-zone is super duper dry, okay? So I have dryness on my nose. I'll get like peeling, like literally skin peeling around my nose, around my nostrils, even in this area. So, and then this area right next to the nose, this is extremely dry. The only thing is that if I would say I have sort of like more dry to combination in the sense that it's normal around here. And also these are the areas where I break out. My skin is really, really confusing. I'm gonna go in right here with the small sponge. And over my eyes as well. Oh, you guys, I totally forgot, but just to let you know, before I do this, I make sure that I have a cleansed face and I'm very well moisturized, and I definitely go in with an SPF. These days I've been using this one. I just got it from Target, but you can use any one. Bioderma is great. Whichever SPF, sunscreen, sunblock works for you. I know for me, not every kind of sunblock or every brand works. So I got the Neutrogena sunscreen, but the SPF was like 70, which I think for me, with as sensitive as my skin has become, would be great. But I was using it in the US, and it would like leave these white sort of sticky patches on my face. Maybe because my skin is so dry, the Helioplex, it's a very dry formula, so it was like literally clinging onto my dry patches. So you have to see what works for you. Just make sure that the SPF value on it is as much as what your skin needs and as much as what kind of exposure you're going to be getting to the sun. जैसे कुछ लड़कियां college जाती हैं, buses पे बैठ के जाती हैं, so you're waiting at a bus stop, or you're at your campus and you're outside, canteen ये वो, so you're exposed to the sun a lot. So in those cases, you definitely need your sunscreen, and in some cases, you need to keep reapplying as well. And all of that is not about कि मैं काली हो जाऊंगी या मैं tan हो जाऊंगी या, you know, complete segue, but I just want to say that that's not the concern. Like, I love a good golden sort of tan, but it's about protecting your skin from the harmful UV rays and not getting wrinkles and hyperpigmentation and skin cancer. So yeah, I also wanted to mention right here that if you did want to apply foundation and you didn't want to be like me and you wanted some recommendations, then these are great options. I would even mix these up. This one, you know, I've talked about a lot. I really do like it. This is a Focallure Skin Evolution Foundation. It's extremely affordable and it's a great formula, and it comes with an SPF 15. And then what I would maybe also mix it up with, also this also comes with SPF 15, is a L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. This is for people who have normal to dry skin. I don't like matte foundation. I have dry skin, as you know. If you have very oily skin, you could try the matte formula. And then of course, this is another one that is also a favorite. This is the golden beige shade in the Wet n Wild foundation, and this again is a very affordable foundation. It has a terrible paint like smell, which is kind of disturbing if you ask me, but yeah, it has this weird spatula. So ye iska ye style hai. But in my case, I'm good with my concealer, and as I've been talking, I've let it sit and let it get into my creases. Creases, how cute. But what I'm going to go and make sure is I press them back in, because I'm not going to powder like too much, especially under my eyes. Lekin thoda sa main karti hu. And you guys, I'm so upset because after my last tutorial or something, I dropped my NYX HD setting banana powder. This is the one that I really like, and I dropped it and it's complete powder now, like actual powder. I need to get a replacement, but abhi ke liye to yahi hai. So this is also affordable. This is something that I think even over like high-end brands, this really suits me because it doesn't really settle into my fine lines and doesn't cause dryness and creasing. So what I just do is I just like tap it in thoda thoda. Like you just saw, I just picked it up once with a brush and I tap it in, and that's it. If I feel a little sticky, or if you're feeling oily or something, especially with the summer coming in, I would suggest that you can go in with like one of these, like this one by Milani. It's the Conceal and Perfect Shine Proof Powder. This is in the shade 04 Natural. And what I like about this is that it comes with a sponge, so if you want to use the sponge and like really press it in, you can do that, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take it. It's a little darker, a little yellow for me right now, but it should be fine in the summer. And what I'm just going to do is just like very lightly over my face, like with a very big paddle brush, as you can see. So this almost covers the size of the pan. And इसमें मेरी जो coverage वाली बात होती है ना, like, oh, I need that coverage kind of thing for the rest of my face, I can get that. I don't have to be like full foundation, I can just do this. And with using such a big fluffy brush, you don't have that issue of over powdering or making yourself to look very cakey and dry or any of those things. Now that we've gotten our face on, I think a good place to go to now would be to do our brows. So if you haven't already seen my affordable brow pencils video, I'm going to put it up here in the eye bar. Check it out. This is something that I ordered from AliExpress. It's like an Anastasia Brow Wiz, or benefits precisely my brows dupe, I would say. It's very precise, and this is what I'm going to go in with. It's very, very cheap, very affordable. And if you want to know where to get it from, go watch the video. I've mentioned all the information in the description bar. So I'm going to quickly do my brows. You can also always go over your eyebrows with, not even a brow powder. I usually just use a dark brown, grayish kind of an eyeshadow and just fill in those sparse spots. Once you do your brows, your face really looks framed. Right now, obviously, if I just have really dark brows and nothing else on my face, it's like, what? What is she looking crazy for? But that's the whole process that you do that. So now I can go into my eyes or I can go into my face. It honestly doesn't matter. For me, it just depends what I feel like. Right now, I want to go into the rest of my face. I'm going to go into bronzer. If you've been seeing my videos, you know how much I love my bronzer. It's not just about contouring and bringing in those shadows. For me, a lot of it is about bringing a dimension of health, I feel, and just like this color into your skin. Foundation or even concealer just sort of cancels everything out. So a lot of your natural shadows and dimensions kind of go away. So I feel like bronzer really brings that back. And the other thing bronzer is great for is if you have a foundation that is kind of like a little light for you and you didn't maybe got it, maybe you got it online, maybe you didn't realize when you were getting it, maybe you tanned, whatever reason it is. Bronzer is an excellent way to like balance your face back out. So one of the affordable options, and I love talking about this, and a lot of people love talking about this, is the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. So I'm just going to take this angled brush. It doesn't have to be angled. I just found this. This is where I like to hit it really quickly. Immediately it just makes a difference. And I keep saying this every time, but get the right shade for yourself. If it's too light, it won't show. If it's too dark, it will show too much. You'll have to do a lot more blending. I like to go right here as well, just because double chin, we all struggle. And it's very liberally applied right here. So the angled brush helps because it sort of fits into the space. I like to go in near my nose and kind of bronze the sides of it. And if it's like an everyday thing or like a light bronzer, I'll also go over my cheeks just like that. And that's it. I don't want to overdo it. Next, I'm going to go in with blush. And this is the blush I've been using a lot lately. It's the Loreal Paradise Enchanted peach scented blushes. I'm really indifferent to this scent. As you can see, it's got this really pretty kind of peach, kind of luminescent kind of look. But because it's not very pigmented, I really have to sometimes go into it and then kind of go on my hand and then sometimes go back into it. This is how I like to apply it. I focus it on my cheeks and then I pull it up. And it may seem like a lot, but I'm one of those people just ke muh pe blush just goes away, it doesn't stay. But because it's like this not a very harsh pink, not super pigmented kind of blush, you can get away with applying more without it looking like super intense or crazy. And then whatever's left over, I kind of go over my nose, over my forehead. I think I've done this a lot of times in my tutorials, so like this might be repetitive. I'm gonna go in with my eyes now, and I brought two options for you, both affordable. One is the Perfect Neutral Palette by Beauty Glazed, and if you haven't seen this already, you haven't seen my video, I'll link to it, but these are the shades, which are great everyday shades. The other option is, and I also have done a video on this, also very affordable, is the Element of Surprise palette by Colourpop. Both are extremely affordable options, and they're both available online. I haven't used the Colourpop one for quite a while, especially in my videos, so I'm going to be using this, and I'll tell you the colors that I like to go in with. So for my transition, I'm going to use a combination of these two shades, which is called Labyrinth and I believe Sea Stars. So what I like to do is I like to just go into my transition. This is like my usual go-to kind of everyday look. I just want to make sure I have a nice transition shade. I am using the Morphe R39 brush at the moment, and I'm going into my crease and right above it. Even though they look very brown in the pan, they've got this like reddish kind of pink finish to them. I don't know how to explain it. I'm going to take a clean, fluffy blending, well, it looks dirty, but it's pretty clean. And then just go over this just to blow it out a little more. So I'm happy with that there. I can see it. And then what I'm gonna do is I like to go in with one of these two shimmery shades on the top. And they're called Late Night and Rayon. And what I like to do is just use my finger. Maybe if I go into like Late Night, go in there. So I do this transition shade. I take a shimmer and I just put it onto my lid. It's there, but it's not like in your face. And then a little bit of a highlight shade on the inner corner. You could even use your highlighter, by the way. Also, you don't even need these eyeshadows. eyeshadows. I totally forgot. You could use your blush, your bronzer, and your highlighter to do the exact same thing. So like if I took this bronzer and I put in my brush, I could do the exact same thing right here. But since I have eyeshadow palettes, why not use them? If you wanted to, you know, do like a darker outer corner, you could totally do that. Like let's say I took this Silk Street and just tap it on the outer corner. Make sure you go back and blend it in into the crease. Now this looks a bit much, but that was just because I gave the option. Anyway, so I'm just gonna go and put that on the lower lash line. TK, so now what we're gonna do is, before I curl the eyelashes, I'm going to take a setting spray. I'm gonna use the NYX Dewy setting spray. I've used the matte one and I've used this. I don't really notice that much of a difference, but so before I do mascara and before I do the highlighter, my little trick is, especially to make it look more like everything's blended in, is to take your makeup sponge and press the setting spray into your skin. That way your skin looks more perfected and like everything is really well blended in together. And at this point, I'm going to use my highlighter. This is the highlighter that I'm going to be using. I love this highlighter. It's the Master Chrome by Maybelline, and it is in the shade Molten Gold. And if you're looking for a great highlighter brush, which is maybe not meant for a highlighter, which is also affordable, is this one by Real Techniques. This is actually the setting brush, which you're supposed to use under your eyes. You can use it for that, but I also love using it as my highlight brush. So I just go in. Oh. So you see, when you apply it on top of your setting spray, you just get so much more payoff. Anyway, so I just like to go like this over the side. I know that looks a little intense and it's like, Sana, this was your everyday daytime kind of look. Yeah, it is. I like being very highlighted and very glowy. What I like about this highlighter is that it's not like metallic or chunky. It's just got this beautiful way of picking on the light, and I would use this all over my face if I could. So there you go. We have that. And if you feel like it's thoda zyada bhi ho gaya, whatever, you can use that same wet beauty blender, and again, you can go press it into your skin again. So then, just like everything else, it's blended in. You see? So it just looks like your skin is radiating gold. The next step that I would have, which is extremely important for me because my eyelashes are like, they're like this. ठीक है, when I curl them, फिर लगता है अच्छा चलो मेरे पास मेरी eyelashes भी हैं. So curling eyelashes has become an extremely important step for me. I use this eyelash curler by Sally Hansen. It's not too expensive. It's very comfortable to use and it feels safe. I usually give it like a few pumps and then sometimes just hold on to it. And then I'll go in with my mascara. And the mascara that I've been using like daily now, I got this in a set. So I got the purple and the pink one. I've used the purple one. I've loved the purple one. I heard the pink one wasn't great, but I actually like the pink one as well. This one has like this paddle brush, so you can kind of really get in there. And I'm one of those people who tends to like put the mascara wand into my eye and really hurt myself, so I have to be careful. The way I avoid that is, you know, like when you kind of try to get in and wiggle and do all of those things, मैं बहुत clumsy हूँ, so what I do, which protects me, is blinking on the wand. Can you see the difference? And you might have noticed that I didn't use eyeliner. I'm kind of just like on that thing where I don't like to use eyeliner every day anymore, like a winged eyeliner or any of that, especially if it's like a daily kind of thing. So there's no kajal, there's no eyeliner. If you want to do that, you could do that. And I'm going to just go into my lower lashes as well. And if you get some on your face like I do right here, leave it for now. You can take a Q-tip and wipe it off as it's dried. I'm just going to go in for like a slightly like second coat. And then we're on our last step. So if you notice, it was very like boom, boom, boom. I speak a lot. I take a lot of time, so that's why this is longer. I'm of course going to finish up with the lips. If you have any excess lip balm or Vaseline on you, you can rub it off at this point. One is this Wet n Wild. This is new. I love this formula. It's a gel lip liner by Wet n Wild, and this is the color Bear to Comment. What I like about this is because it's the shade of my lips, I can cancel out the darkness. I have some pigmentation on my lips, so I can cancel that out by filling in my lips, if you can see. So again, affordable item. And then the color that I'm going to be using is, I brought a couple of colors. So I really like these NYX Soft Matte Cream. Some people don't like them because they're drying. But if you go in with that, you know, lip balm or Vaseline or whatever, lip therapy before you put on these drying kind of formulas. The other one also people complain is drying is the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit. I've found that when I do have the lip balm or the Vaseline on, these glide on and do not feel very dry. So this, I forgot to mention, this is the shade San Paulo. And if you don't want it too intense, you can sort of like put it on and blend it out. The other color that I've really been like using again a lot, even though I got this a while ago, is Rebel Rose by Wet n Wild in the liquid catsuit, and maybe just put it in the middle. And if you're a matte lip kind of girl, you can leave it at that. Otherwise, I have two very affordable, very great lip gloss options. So many of us love a glossy lip. This is by Oriflame. This is a lip gloss in a tube. It's called Very Me. It's called Mirror Gloss. I don't know exactly. No, the shade is Soft Coral. So this is really great. I like using this. It's just like one of those tubes and you can just, it's almost at its end. So you can get this where you get like Oriflame stuff online. Another great, super affordable lip gloss option is the one by Essence. These are the XXXL glosses, lip glosses by them. This is a nude gloss. This is actually, it's done now, pretty old now. It needs to be thrown away. But this is such a beautiful, and look at that, such a juicy, affordable, comfortable formula. Is comparable to high-end brands. The shade also is just, it's perfect nude. Like, you really cannot go wrong with this. If there's something you need to get from Essence, then the mascara and these XXXL nude lip gloss are definite must-haves. So I feel like I'm done, like I'm set. And this, honestly, this is how I would do my everyday kind of a look. And there you go. And honestly, like I said, you don't even have to use an eyeshadow palette. If you don't want the shimmery, you could go with complete matte look. But this is the way like I like to do my everyday out the door. I tried, but I didn't try too hard. I'm looking good, but you know, that's just the way I look kind of thing. So I hope that you liked and enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. I love hearing back from you. I love getting your input, your suggestions on future content. Like this was completely made based upon, you know, some people's suggestions. I hope to be creating more content that you want to see from me, that you enjoy, and your constructive feedback and criticism is something that I really, really enjoy and look forward to. If you haven't subscribed already, what are you doing? Go do it right now. I hope to see you next time. Take care. Goodbye. Mwah.